What's up, everybody? It's Koichi's again, and I am still working on the foundations to my various buildings here, but you'll notice I've actually moved some of my key structures, or I guess my zones, over closer because it was just way too inefficient for my people to come all the way over here and do their work and then come all the way back down here. So what I've done is I've just moved some of my stockpiles and then my kitchen and dining room and all that other good stuff over here so I can actually get stuff done much quicker. And I needed to make several kitchen tables and butcher's tables since the roast actually takes 3 different types of animals. You need at least 3 butcher's tables so that they can do this efficiently, and I added actually 1 extra as well because I was getting a little bit of a bottleneck going on here. And you'll notice I got 4 fires and pretty much all 4 of them were being used just then. So as far as I'm aware, this is going to help me out quite a bit with my efficiency as far as getting stuff done. And I'm starting to think I need to go ahead and I can delete these areas later, obviously, once I get my building built up. But it's taking a while for a lot of this stuff to happen, and I want everything to be all fancy and all cool and all that good stuff. But I need to get more citizens, so I'm just gonna go ahead and build some temporary housing for some citizens, and I guess I'll go ahead and just put it right. See, I haven't cleared out the mountain yet. It's on the way. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and I've just been doing 1 layer at a time. Like I said, you have to start at the top, so you can't really go all the way because they'll start mining at the bottom and they'll screw the whole damn thing up. But for now, I'm going to create some personal rooms, and just over here, so let's see, personal rooms, where are you at? And I'm just gonna go ahead and I'll delete, and I'm not even gonna put decorations in them. I can put furniture because the furniture, if I delete the room, the furniture will actually I'll be able to reuse that furniture. But if I use decorations such as a harp, then that harp will actually lay there. It'll stay there. I'll have to like delete it, so it's kind of a waste. But for now, personal rooms are fine. I'm gonna go ahead and try and get several of these going because I want some more townies. If I can get about 40 townies, that should make it a lot easier for me to complete some tasks, at least in a more timely manner, I should say. Oh, time efficiency is important. Once you get to about 100 townies, then you start getting tasks done quite fast. But you have to scale up appropriately. You can't just go straight to 100 townies, otherwise you're gonna have crappy food production and you're gonna run out and you're gonna have to way more everything. And so I'm pretty sure I can sustain about 40 townies. I have 20 now, and I'm maintaining a fairly good amount. You need to keep checking if you are able to maintain a decent amount of stockpile of food, then you're good. So you'll notice I've actually got my roast set to automatically get about 20 stockpiled for my 20 citizens. And then in order to do that, I have had my gathering, or I guess my butchering. I've got about like 8. I'm trying to keep like 8 of each of these. And then anytime I do stuff with wood, you'll notice, I did build this tree farm, but I didn't show you guys my materials. You actually can have it auto chop planted trees, so I have at least 10 built up at a time. And that way, if I need extra wood and I run out of my stockpile, it'll automatically take care of that for me. And so we're pretty good there. I think, okay, so another thing you'll notice is that you can actually see into the dungeon here. I kind of forgot about this. I was trying to dig too deep, like 2 levels deep for my basement, and I was going to use that as the floor, but I forgot that some areas are going to already have missing blocks for the dungeons. And so you can see that I've kind of dug into the dungeon here, and it kind of screwed me up a little bit. I built these scaffolds, and in order to get in and out of areas, you have to have scaffolding, and this is something I didn't mention earlier, but it's fairly straightforward. You just go to any of your walls and you have your scaffold there, and scaffold is pretty much a vertical ladder is all it is. So you can just put scaffolding at an even level so that your people can walk in here and they can go into those areas. So what I'll do is I'm actually gonna make this I'm gonna use the dungeon wall as part of the floor, and then the parts that are not filled up or whatever, I'll put some blocks, and I kind of screwed this up here, but I'll put some blocks. See, like these gray flag blocks, I'll actually set those inside here. And in fact, let me just show you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take these gray flag blocks, and I think they look cool as a floor. And I need to make sure I'm at -2 because that's the level that these dungeon walls are at. And then I'm going to go ahead and just fill in this area, just like that. And I'm just going to hold down Shift. And for some reason, walls you can only do like straight lines or whatever, and that's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and make straight lines all the way across here, and that should be fine, I believe. And I just need to fill all these guys in. Oops, let go of Shift there. And almost ready. Okay, so my villagers, my townies or whatever, they should start to place these blocks down and cover up the areas that are messed up. And I have to actually delete these because I screwed them up. I put them on the wrong level. I put them on -1 rather than -2. And so therefore I'm gonna, by the way, you can hit Z and it'll flatten things out for you. So that helps you out if you have stuff in the wrong area. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit Z to help myself click on these ones that are right next to the walls. That's the kind of unfortunate part about being isometric, is that it's hard to see things that are next to edges, but the Z will flatten it out for you. And so we're looking good there. I've destroyed all the unnecessary blocks that I had built up there, and that'll help my foundation get to where it needs to be. But for now, I'm going to continue with this mountain clearing, and now that I've got more efficient production going, and you'll see I've actually, let's see, 23 citizens. So I'm starting to receive more citizens. You'll usually receive like 3 or 4 at a time once you have enough lodging for them or whatever. So just make sure that you continue with your production efficiency so that you're able to sustain that amount of villagers. And eventually I will get to the point to where I can clear out this mountain and I can put down some blocks here and I'll have my basement started. So as soon as this mountain's cleared out and I've got some more townies, I'll go ahead and unpause my recording, and we'll start building up the actual ground floors of this area, and I'll show you how to do like some cool ladders, and we'll design the floor plans and for my like closets and then my kitchen area and all that good stuff. All right, so let me just pause it and we'll come back to this in a second. Okay, I've unpaused it for just a second because I wanted to show you guys one thing that will probably help you out, and that's using the burner. So I didn't realize what this thing was until recently, but I like to build a couple of burners next to my raw food stockpile, or just raw material stockpile, because a lot of times when you're like digging things out, you notice I've got like 500 blocks of mud, and it's really not useful to me, and in fact it just causes a lot of pain in my opinion, because it's like these blocks stop me from building things there, and it's really annoying to me. So I like to build several burners, and then you can actually set your villagers to destroy those blocks in those burners. So I just set my burner. I can just click this a bajillion times, and then eventually my townies will go take all of these pieces of mud, toss them in the burners, and get rid of them. And I can do the same thing with flour. Sometimes you have way too much flour if you're using the if you're farming flour for baking, but I don't like to do baking. I like to do the roast because obviously it has the highest fill percentage, and that's what I'm going for, the best efficiency, because I want to make a really awesome town and I want to be able to have the best workers possible. So that's really up to your playstyle. Wood, I generally don't have too much wood. I don't mind having an excess of wood because a lot of times you use up wood extremely fast, but yeah, the mud is the main thing. There are some other stuff I wish I can burn, but unfortunately you can't burn gels. I get a lot of gels from the dungeon, and so that's not a big deal though. I'll just stockpile those suckers, and then I'll have a lot of extra gels. But anyways, that's it. I just wanted to show you the burner, and I'm almost done with this mountain, and we'll check back here in a second. Hey guys, I'm gonna go ahead and unpause. It looks like a caravan has arrived, a dwarven caravan in fact, and so this is gonna be pretty exciting. This is the first time I've actually ever seen a dwarven caravan. I don't know why. I've never seen one before in my other playthroughs, but this is perfect because so you'll notice it's lit up in red, so you know that it's here. And the way this works, so let's take a look. Clicking on the Caravan, he's selling some iron, equipment, and some other stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and buy all the iron that he has. Since I don't have any iron available to me at this current time, that's perfect. Oh yeah, 666, just perfect. Kind of creepy. So what I need to do is I need to sell items that I have currently in my inventory. And it looks like I can actually sell wood. And so that'll be perfect. I basically have to click these things here over on this side until confirm trade becomes lit up. So I don't have enough wood. I'm gonna need to farm a little bit more wood. And you gotta do this before they leave. Otherwise, you're going to have trouble. So I'm gonna go ahead and chop up some wood until I have enough to trade to this dwarf and I can get all of that iron. And then once I have that iron, I can actually make stuff at a forge, such as ovens. Oh God, it looks like we have a siege too. Holy crap, so much stuff happening. Ah! So these spiders are coming after me. And right now, since I'm not too far into the game, I'm not having very dangerous sieges. Later on, you'll get sieges of hobgoblins and just large amounts of creatures. And so that's why it's good to have buildings built up and walls and defenses and have your townies all decked out and supplies and have guards and stuff. But for now, just having each person equipped with a few things is good enough. I'm not gonna have to worry about anything at this point in time. And so now that I've got more wood, looks like I have enough. I can confirm that trade. I might as well go ahead and build up an anvil if I can afford it. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and milk this guy for all he's worth. As far as I'm concerned, this is pretty much the only time I'm gonna have access to this iron stuff until later on. And just mostly due to the fact that it's gonna be a few levels before I get to iron. Well, hopefully not too long from now, but you know, it is a little ways off. So I just need a little bit more wood so I can chop the trees that are surrounding. Go ahead and chop those. By the way, if you have Z on, it'll just show the trees as stumps. And that's how you know you're actually on the right level to start chopping them down. So I'm gonna chop down those trees, and that should give me enough to trade with this guy. So as I get wood, there it is, confirm trade. So I can confirm trade. It says Caravan is trading, and as I start taking materials to him, he'll just throw out the items that I bought, and then I can take those and use them for whatever I want. And I'm probably going to set up a forge here in just a second. In fact, I'll go ahead and do that now. So let's set up a forge now that I'm gonna have things to use it for. And this is just temporary stuff, obviously. I'm gonna put all of these production places inside this building once this building gets constructed. For now though, I'll have my forge set up in there, and you can go ahead and create the anvil, which goes inside the forge, and I'll have the iron from the dwarf, and I can build a smelter as well. So yeah, he's dropping out the iron, you can see right there, and I'll go ahead and build the smelter. Well, actually, it's not gonna let me build it until the anvil gets set up because it requires the anvil to make the smelter. And then once the smelter is created, I'll be able to create some stoves. And stoves are great because kitchen cooking fires, those cook a little bit slower than stoves. So once you get your stoves built up, then you can start to really cook much faster. In fact, well, actually, hang on. What does it take to do my roast? It cooks at a stove or cooking fire. Okay, so stoves, yeah. So it definitely needs stoves. I wasn't sure if it took a cooking bowl. I think that's what you actually make. Oh yeah, that's actually what you make these stews in, is cooking bowls. But I'm not actually doing stews because stews don't give me awesome fill percentages. Yeah. So yeah, there we go. There's the Caravan, and you saw a little tiny mini siege. And I am about at the area to start creating my giant townie skyscraper. So I think I'll go ahead and do that in the next episode. You'll see my townies are actually slowly putting flag blocks into these areas. So the foundation's almost done. It takes forever, I know, but I do need more townies. I've actually made some more temporary housing for now to hopefully attract some more townies, but right now they're not very happy. So some of them are. But I just need to make sure that I have enough decorations and the areas that they frequent. So I might need to mix a couple of outdoor decorations on their pathway. Basically, I'll just sit here and I'll watch them, and I'll see where they walk mostly, and then I can put up decorations. By the way, if your townies go idle, then they will actually sit in the market. So one way to get your happiness up is to just stop giving them orders for a while, and once they go sit around in the market, they'll be next to all of your whatever. If you have enough decorations and furniture in the market, then they will get happiness from that. So in fact, I actually need to put some more furniture in here. I don't have any furniture, so I'll just put up like that. I'll put up a little wooden squares thingy. I guess that's a table, obviously. And I'll put up some places for them to sit. And that should be good. Put up a little chair there. Chimney, no, I don't have a roof yet. There's no point in having a chimney. And I'll put this random thing, the architect's table. Sure, why not? Why not? Why not? Okay, well, I think we're good. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording here. In fact, this will be the end of this episode. Next episode, we're going to start planning out the foundation for the skyscraper. And hopefully we'll have these foundations completed at that time as well. And I'll have some stoves built. I can go ahead and replace these cooking fires with stoves. And so let's see, how much iron do I have? I have 9 iron. So it takes, I'll probably have just enough iron to make a few. I'll keep around the cooking fires because I don't want to ruin them. I'll just make extra stoves so they'll go to those stoves instead of the fires. And then whenever I remove this kitchen, it'll actually automatically move the stoves to the new kitchen that I create in this giant building here. That is going to be good for my dining area and kitchen, all that good stuff. So, okie dokie, guys, that's it for my cheese world. Let's call it Cheese World or Cheeseville or something like that. How's that sound for my, I'm trying to name my area. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys around for the next one. Let's go with cheese. Peace out.